Your contracts should grow with your business. My name is Andrew Ayers. I'm a business law and estate planning attorney based in Edina, Minnesota, with an office in New York. Today we're going to talk about the contracts that you use for your business and how they should grow over time as your business grows. Now, when you first started out, how did you create your contracts? A lot of people went to a random website and downloaded what they thought they should be using. Others would look around the industry, find maybe a competitor or speak to somebody else and use whatever contracts other people were using. And sometimes you were just operating on a handshake and you're hoping that nothing ever happens with your contracts that you need to sue somebody. This can be really common in very small businesses with a very personal relationship with their customers. Sometimes they don't need actual contracts, they're just working on a handshake. However, if things go south, what are you going to do? These types of contracts work until they don't. So as you grow, you should always be revising your contracts and taking a look at them, seeing are they longer than they need to be? Are they missing any terms or clauses? Does it have hard to read language? And are there clauses that don't apply to your business? Now, first of all, a lot of contracts are a lot longer than they need to be. This can be very common if you've borrowed a contract from somebody else who has a very in-depth model for their business and has a lot of terms that they need, but maybe your business doesn't need them. But if you've borrowed from somebody else, you might be missing something that you need. A common clause that I see absent is there an indemnification clause? What happens if somebody is sued for something that happens under the contract by a third party? Do we know who's going to be defending who? There can also be really hard to read language. A lot of times you've taken a contract from somebody else who had it drafted by a big law firm. They spent thousands of dollars on it, and the language you don't even understand. You're running a business, you don't understand what your own contract says. And then, of course, there's clauses that don't even apply to your business. One of the most common ones I run into is you've downloaded your contract from the web, and you look at the governing law or the jurisdiction provision, and it's got a state you don't even do business in. You're in New York, and your contract says all disputes are to be resolved in the courts of Texas. So what happens? If you need to sue a customer, you've got to go to Texas to do it. And if you're in New York, and your customer's in Georgia, what in the world is Texas going to have to do with this lawsuit? So the point is you want to have a good contract that evolves with your business over time. What you're going to find is as you have your contract and you're working with different customers, you'll figure out where the issues are. Maybe there's something you forgot to put in there, or maybe there's something that just keeps coming up and it's just not worded correctly. And you want to make sure you get it clearer so that you and your customers know what they're actually dealing with. The best way to do this is to check in with your attorney. It's like a doctor checkup. You don't have to do it yearly, but every now and then you should check in with your attorney. Just have them take a look at your contract. They may just find one or two little tweaks. We need to change a provision here or switch something there. Sometimes you might even need a whole new contract, especially with COVID and starting in 2020. The force majeure clause, things that were way beyond anything we could have imagined, have become much more important. And a lot of those old contracts didn't even have them, because it was considered something that you wouldn't even have to deal with in a lot of small businesses. If it's time for you to review the contracts for your business, you can head over to my website, andrewmayers.com, and you can click on the red Schedule a Consultation button, where you'll be taken to my personal calendar, where we can set up a complimentary legal strategy session to discuss the contracts you're using in your business and whether or not they need to be revised, or maybe they're fine as they are. Because truly your contract should grow with your business. You never should outgrow them and have them be too complicated for you and your clients to understand.